Oh, she moves like a damn angel. You can't understand how you.
We are 2 weeks out on Friday. Can you believe I've been dieting? I have got really bad prepper at the moment, so I'm not the best at calculating. Oh my God, we've been dieting like 17 weeks now. So I have gone from this, which you will see here, to this now. In 17 weeks, roughly lost around 16, 17 kilo at 1 kilo rate per week. And it is almost show day. I'm actually in quite high spirits today, which is shocking because I'm actually on below 1,000 calories at the moment. Obviously we're so close to show day. I've still got a bit more to lose. My weight's sitting at 52.3, which is the lowest yet. But I need to be around that 50, 49 mark on show day. So food's very low, activity's high. All of my weights are very light at the moment too to reduce fatigue. So we're going to do a bit of legs today. Nice, lightweight, it's not going to be too hard. And then we're going to have a little bit of a reflection on how I've done over the last few weeks, because this is going to be my last YouTube for my show. It's so light, it feels pathetic. It's horrible. Right, I'm going to do a few sets of these. Essentially, I'm just trying to like get a bit of a pump on at the moment. Just keep the muscle working, but nothing overly challenging. I don't want to fatigue my muscle now. We're just going through the motions and surviving, really. Okay, I'm going to go up a little bit in weight because I'll be honest, I know I'm meant to be doing a lighter weight, but even that just feels so light. I'm like, no, I can't. It's really hard when you're told to do lesser weights to actually do it. I know we're all guilty of wanting to just continuing to push heavy. And I am pulling back a lot. Like I'm doing 35 kilos now on here. And I usually stack the whole thing, which is about 100 kilo. So I am pulling back, but I still want it to be a bit more challenging. I think I'll do leg press next. If you're used to lifting heavy, you obviously are working with a load that you're going to control nicely and you really know the weight. Whereas like as soon as you go to a lightweight, you start throwing it about a bit, maybe not being as focused on your mind to muscle connection because it's light, and that's where injuries can happen. Because I can feel like my back's a little bit twingy because on that hip abductor I was like not engaging as well because it was lighter. So just be mindful of that when you go from like a big drop from heavy weights to light. Lovely. It's nice to use the machine and not be scared by how heavy it is. That was quite nice. I can't remember. This is like prep head to a T. You get to a point where you're so depleted that your mind doesn't function properly. And it sounds awful, but that's what's going to happen when you're eating so little food, that your brain can't quite like put things together. Like I can barely get a sentence together at the moment because it's all just mush up there. I always say your body goes into survival mode where all it's doing is focusing on the necessities. You need to be able to walk, you need to be able to move. That's pretty much it. You need to be able to do your basic functions, and because you're eating so little, it's not going to prioritize energy for things like happiness, for things like my sense of humor is just flat. I'm just not interested. Like sex drive, gone. All things like that are just on the floor because you ain't got the energy for it. You're not eating enough nutrients to fuel you for those things. I find that I'm just going through the motions in the day, and like you don't want to move for like little things. Like it sounds like the way that I'm talking about it makes it seem like it's hell. And it's kind of like, I bet people watch this and they're like, well, why are you doing it when it's that horrible? Like you're literally like just surviving. It's not pleasant. And don't get me wrong, this part isn't the most pleasant, it's hard, but the passion that I've got for it and the love that I have for this sport and getting up there and proving that I'm capable of doing this, proving what I can get my body to, proving that I can do this as a natural athlete with no assistance whatsoever means more to me than just going through a little bit of temporary time suffering. Like, that's what's amazing, is like what you can do with your body, how you get there, the work you put in, even on the days where I'm like this and I'm just like, can you pass me my water, please? It's so worth it, and that end result, it really is. One thing that I'm like very conscious of in my posing, not so much in my posing, in my physique. Obviously, the more I've leaned down, the more I can see what how my look is looking. And I've definitely built some mass in my legs, which I'm buzzing about. But I don't have a very strong front glute. I'm sure I've said this before. So when I go into my front pose, I don't know if you can even see it here, but my front glute is very weak. So at the moment, like, one thing I'm really overthinking is whether my front glute is gonna look good enough in my front pose. I have very bad body dysmorphia with my legs as well. Naturally, like before I started training, I'm skinny in my legs. I have very thin legs. So I've built these up over like 8 years now. But in my head, my self-perception still thinks they're small. So I'm having a bit of trouble at the moment looking at my front pose and thinking that there's density there. It's a nightmare. Hi. I wasn't sure where you were there. Oh my God. The closer the show gets now, the more I'm seeing the other pro bikini girls that are going to be doing it. And it was really, really nice to be completely oblivious to who was doing it for the last few weeks. But now it's all coming to light who's doing it. I'm trying really hard not to compare, but it's very hard to. Like, I'm going into this show with no expectations. I'm not expecting to place. I'm not expecting to get top 5, top 10, anything like that. But I do want to go up there and be certain that I look like I fit in and I belong. And seeing the standard of some of the girls, they're amazing. And I'm really scared I'm not going to fit in. I have this really bad thing in my head where half of me believes in myself and is like, you're worthy, you worked for that pro card, you belong up there. And then the other half of me is like, you're not good enough, it was a fluke getting your pro card, you don't belong up there. And it's so hard to find the balance between the two, but I'm trying my hardest. It is really, really easy and really common to get in your own head when it comes to your prep and getting closer to the show. Even getting to the point where you like, I really try not to compare and I really try to not look at who I'm against, but it's hard not to. But when you do, you can't let it get so much into your head that you pull out. Because I do that sometimes. I'm like, oh, I might just not do the show because I'll look shit. No, like, don't give in to the demons in your head that are telling you otherwise. One thing that helps me more than anything to get over my demons is my support network. I surround myself by people who believe in me and see the best in me, even when I don't see it myself. Even on my really, really shit days, they're there and they understand that it's just temporary. Competing and bodybuilding is a very selfish sport, and you can be not a nice person on it. And I know sometimes I'm very snappy or I'm very short and I'm impatient, but my coach understands that. My boyfriend understands that. My best mate, I've not seen my best mate for weeks, maybe even a couple of months now because I've been on prep, but I know she will never take it personally. She gets it. And those are the type of people you want to be around, the people that are supportive and are there, but understand that sometimes you've got to be a bit distant. But when you need them, they're there. And my support network are always there no matter what. I've been looking a lot at the pros that do my show, but the Olympia is next weekend, and I'm so excited to watch this because obviously the Olympia is going to set the standard for bikini. It's going to give us a good idea of what they're looking for in bikini. I'm hoping they obviously go for a short girl that's a little bit softer and not too much muscle. As a natural, that's achievable for me. So I'm really, really excited to see it. But the pros are just incredible. The girls that are in the lineup to get that top 5, you know, all the predictions that are being made currently, there's such a variation. I'm so eager to see who is going to win the Olympia, who's going to place, because then that's just going to give such a clear indication for me on where I need to go in the future. I'm done. That's enough of a glute pump today. Right, onto some steps. Sometimes I find that on prep, I can go like a lot of the day not being that hungry, and then I'll eat something and it's like it triggers the hunger, and straight away you're like, oh my God, now I'm like ravenous. But that's why you got to stay disciplined, is just eating, like making sure you space your meals out and just eating that meal at that time. Because it's so easy to eat one meal and be like, I'm still hungry, eat another meal. And then next thing you know, you've devoured 3 meals, you've got 3 left and it's 9 in the morning. So don't want to do that. Obviously, I already talked a little bit about kind of feeling a bit shit at the moment, feeling low energy, comparing. But overall, I'm really excited. I am so excited to get on stage and to see if my physique does fit up there, to get feedback on my physique as a pro and see how I stand up there. But part of me is also like excited, not for the prep to be over. Like, I don't want prep to be over. I love prep. I love the routine. I love the structure. But I am excited to go back to normal life a little bit, because when you are prepping, as I said before, it's very selfish and you don't give 100% of yourself to other areas of your life. And I want to be able to start giving 100% to other areas of my life again. Focus on my business, of course, all of my coaching clients, my girls that are going to be going into the 2024 season and doing their first shows, and doing some of their second seasons. I've got a few girls doing their second seasons, elevating my posing business as well. So working with my posing clients a little bit more, just kind of getting my plan in place for what I'm going to do after the show too, because once the show comes and I get my feedback, that's what will determine whether I'm going to then prep next year again. If I do, is it going to be the end of year and the bun weed and naturals again, or is it going to be the beginning of year and maybe some open pro shows, or if I just need to take a whole year out and grow, and how I'm going to approach that. Am I going to get 20 kilos above stage weight again? Am I going to maintain a bit? I don't know. I've got all these questions, but I'm soon going to find out the answers. Right, steps done. Going to go and do a little physique update now so you guys can see where I'm at. Do a little comparison from 19 weeks out to now. I'm 16, 17 kilos down, so you'll be able to see the difference. And then I'm going to get onto cardio, which I'm sure you guys don't want to join me on, because it is 40 minutes of the Stairmaster. Here we are at my almost 2-week out mark, looking very lean. But it's weird because when you're in prep, you tend to get this thing called prep head, which is where you don't actually see what you kind of look like. It's like body dysmorphia, essentially, where I know that I'm lean, but I also really can't see how lean I am. So sometimes you go through this phase where you're like, I'm not lean enough, I'm not lean enough. I feel like I'm at a good place. I am at a good place for 2 to 3 weeks out at 52.4 kilo. So I know I'm on track, but part of me is still looking at myself going, you're not lean enough, you're not lean enough, you're not going to be ready in time, you're not going to look as you need to, but you've just got to trust the process. You've just got to trust my coach, trust Jake, trust all the work I'm doing, trust the cardio, trust the training, and we'll get there. But I am really happy with how I'm looking. I can really see the hourglass shape now. I can see how I've developed in my off season. I've definitely built more glute muscle in my front shot, which is good because that's where my weakness is. My main weakness is the glute shot in the front pose. My delts are definitely looking a little bit bigger now as well. But overall, I'm still holding a nice hourglass shape without being out of balance and proportioned. I might need more mass. I probably will need more mass next year or next time I compete. But for now, this is, as long as I come in condition, I'm really happy with the structure, the balance and the symmetry and the shape that I'm bringing to stage. I just need that condition.